come to order. Please rise for a prayer followed by the pledge of allegiance.
Heavenly Father, as we begin yet another year, keep us ever mindful of our role to put our children first. Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Olsmer?
Here.
Mr. Gershi?
Here.
Mr. Gaudenzi?
Here.
Mr. Enslin?
Present.
Mr. Fiorella?
Here.
Mrs. Fiorella. Mr. Gaudenzi?
Present.
Mr. Hope?
Here.
Mr. McDonough?
Present.
Mr. Shaffer?
Here.
Mr. Adams?
Here.
Dr. Barrett?
Here.
Ms. Emmett is here. Mr. Blum?
Here.
Mrs. Donahue?
Excuse.
Ms. Felisky?
Here.
Mrs. Miller?
Here.
Mr. Gregorski?
Here.
Ms. Watson?
Here.
Mrs. LaRosa?
Here.
Mrs. Price?
Here.
Mrs. Gregory?
Here.
Mrs. Liptak?
Here.
Mr. Seaman?
Here.
Mr. President, you have 9 board members present.
Okay, thank you. May I have a motion for item number 5, approval of minutes, please?
I move that we approve the minutes of the reorganization meeting held on December 7th, 2015, and the regular board meeting held on December 7th, 2015.
I'll second it.
Motion has been made and second. Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Are there any abstaining? Motion passes unanimously. May I have a motion for item number 6, please?
I make the motion that we approve the treasurer's report for the general and food service account.
I'll second it.
Motion has been made and second. Are there any questions or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
No.
Are there any abstaining? Motion carries on a vote of 7 yes, 2 no. May I have a motion for item number 7, please?
I make the motion to approve the bills in the general and food service account. I'll second it.
Motion has been made and second. Are there any questions or comments?
I have some questions.
Okay.
There appears to be 3 missing checks in the sequences there. I was just wondering, why were they missing? Checks number, I can list them if you're ready. 100-55688. The next one is 689. Third one is 100-55760. And that's listed on the fund accounting check summary for 11/1/2015, 11/30/2015. Is there any particular reason why they are missing?
I don't know the answer to that offhand, but I could, I believe if they're not in the sequence, they were probably voided checks. I can get you that answer. I don't have it with me tonight.
All right, thank you.
Are there any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
No.
Are there any abstaining? Motion carries. The vote is 7 yes, 2 no. Are there any questions regarding item 8, the accounting of taxes?
Can we just have an update, maybe, Rose, you probably best answer this, where we are?
We're
There's
actually,
until last year.
yeah, we're actually closing that up this month. I can give you a better idea, but like for our February
February.
meeting, yeah, because this is the final, during the month of January is when the tax collectors will make their final returns to us, and then the reports that go back to the county of what's uncollectible. So I can
So
actually
for
give you a better idea.
So basically for the fourth then?
Mhm.
The fourth.
Yeah, I can, yeah.
And again, the question was just to see where we were in comparison to 2015 and where we were with the collections.
Item number 9, student recognition. Mr. Blum?
Thank you. January is School Board Recognition Month. And tonight we have 2 students with us. We have Student Body Vice President Jillian Weston and the Student Body President Matt Russo to make the presentation.
Alright, hi, my name is Jillian Weston and this is Matt. We are members of student government and we'd like to express our appreciation for all the support you have shown us and for our district. As a token of our gratitude, we're presenting you with a certificate to a new local restaurant, Don and Pops, located in Waymart. It is actually a new business of one of our own, Matt Beck, a graduate from Western Wayne. We'd like to say thank you again, as well as support this local business with our gift. Thank you. These are the board members.
On behalf of the school board, I'd like to thank you very much for this recognition. Ellen?
Thank you, Mr. President. At this time, I'd like to introduce Casey Riley, who is a teacher at both the Evergreen and RDW buildings. On behalf of Mrs. Miller and I, Casey wrote a grant when she was at the Evergreen School. She now works at both buildings. It's quite an honor for Mrs. Miller and I to be able to recognize a teacher who goes above and beyond. As you all know, we've made several attempts over the last years to cut budgets and do things, and we've had teachers that have gone above and beyond, and Casey is one of those teachers, one of several, and she has been recognized by the state of Pennsylvania for her outstanding efforts in several of the grants that she wrote, but this one in particular was for an innovative grant that was for outdoor music education with the new Green School. So I'd like to recognize Casey, and she can tell you a little bit about her grant.
Thank you. Thank you very much. In summer of 2013, I took a class called the Outdoor Classroom, and I thought it was a perfect course to take teaching in an environmental center. It's a beautiful green space. There's a lot of opportunities for students besides science education. And the course gave everybody a chance to look at their own space and decide what can we do besides just a science curriculum. So can we use the nature spaces for reading classrooms? Can we do things besides phys ed outside? How can we do that? And I thought this was a perfect thing to write a grant for iPod shuffles. So I have 18 iPod shuffles and all the pieces that go with them. So we can take our music listening from the classroom and go out onto the 36 acres of green space and sit and listen, immersed in the environment that the pieces were meant to be written for. For example, Beethoven's Pastoral Symphony, we can sit outside in the pasture and take a look at the trees. Respighi has a piece called Pines of Rome, and how the pine trees change during the different seasons. We can take a look at that. But then in the fall, I was notified from Kappa Delta Pi, which is an international education fraternity organization, that I have been awarded another $150 grant to purchase boom whacker tubes, which are large plastic tubes that are color-coded, and you can tap them, wave them, hit them, shake them, boom them on the floor. So I'm waiting for those. It's a 22 or 28 piece set that comes with cards, and so there's all sorts of kinesthetic and visual and oral activities that we can do with that. In addition to those two projects, in 2008 I wrote a grant for the Wayne County Community Foundation, and we were awarded a recording box. So it records to a flash drive, so we can record our classroom singing, classroom concerts, classroom listening lessons. The kids can have immediate feedback on their own performance. So we'll sing a song and record it, and then the kids can say, ooh, I really hear how I'm not singing in tune, or I'm too fast, or I'm too slow. And I also, from the Wayne County Community Foundation, was awarded another grant for a first set of boom rocker tubes, and the kids loved them so much that I sought another opportunity to find more resources for them. So the last of the grants that I wrote was for keyboards for our students. So I have 6 keyboards at Evergreen through the Wayne County Community Foundation and through Kappa Delta Pi, so our students have that. So funding is out there. A lot of corporations and businesses are willing to work with teachers. If you prove your point and have a really great lesson, a strong, solid background in a community that supports what you're doing, I think that grant opportunities are there. So I'm really proud and I'm excited about my own work, but I'm also excited for the opportunities that our students have now. You know, we have, through nobody's fault, we have a windowless classroom at Evergreen. So to be able to take the kids outside certainly helps combat a little bit of that nature deficit disorder. It also helps them deal with the technology devices that they have at home, and how can I use this besides just sitting there to play Candy Crush? What can I do? How can I get that? So thank you for the opportunity to work with the kids every day. Thank you for believing in music and art and the things that we have in our community to help our kids become well-rounded individuals. So thank you. Thank you very much.
We do thank you for all of the effort you put into writing those grants. We know that it's very tedious and can be very laborious at times. But also thank you for making that education process real to so many kids who wouldn't get to experience, you know, the concrete nature of the outside and marry that up with music. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Yes, recognition.
Mr. Blum, student recognition?
Yep. Senior recognition. Tonight, once again, we have 2 outstanding seniors with us tonight. The first you have just met, Jillian Weston. Jillian is the daughter of Kevin and Donna Weston of Lake Ariel. Jillian?
Hi, as you know, I'm Jillian Weston, and here at Western Wayne, I tried to involve myself in as much as I possibly could. A couple of clubs that I'm in right now are Technology Student Association, TSA, Future Business Leaders of America, FBLA, Pennsylvania Junior Academy of Science, which is PJAS, and all 3 of those I've been able to compete at the national level with. I'm involved in Student Council, SAD, Students Against Destructive Decisions, Tobacco for Youth, and Prom Committee. I'm also very active. I am involved in basketball, soccer, and indoor and outdoor track. I have been recognized for all my hard work, and I was granted the opportunity to be part of NHS, National Honor Society, and Leadership Black Awana. Both those groups have allowed me to volunteer and serve my community in many ways. Outside of school, I volunteer as a Sunday school teacher at Cortez United Methodist Church, as well as a secretary there. Additionally, I work as a lifeguard at the YMCA, and I've worked at Keene Lake as a lifeguard. I do preschool swim classes and aqua job swim classes, so that's pretty fun. I also have been able to work as a tobacco youth inspector with the FDA, so that was pretty cool. And I just try to be as involved as I possibly can with the community. So I do have a very busy lifestyle, but I honestly wouldn't have it any other way. I've been given some pretty amazing opportunities, and I've been able to work with some pretty amazing people, including an FDA inspector, which was pretty cool. And I'm very grateful for all the people in my life, including my parents. They're the best. Dad's gonna cry. And I really appreciate everything that's been done for me, and I appreciate all you guys for everything. And I'm gonna cry. Thank you.
And if we can have your parents, please stand up and be recognized. Next up, we have Tyler Atcavage. Tyler is the son of Ron and Beth Atcavage of Forest City.
Hello, I'm Tyler Atcavage. I'm a student here at Western Wayne High School. Throughout school, I've been involved with a variety of honors and AP courses. This year, I've been taking calculus and chemistry, toughest classes I've ever taken, derivatives and mixing chemicals and stuff. Very hard. For sports, I was captain of the soccer team. We had a better season this year than we've had in previous years. Got 4 wins instead of 9. Captain of the wrestling team this year. We're hoping to get a district championship again and beat Myers. Volleyball, I've been a member of for 4 years. I was picked as second team all-star, and I'm hoping to be captain again. I've been involved with FBLA for 4 years, SAD for 4 years, NHS 3 years. And through NHS, we've helped the community by going to SANS workshops and handing out water for marathons. Through my church, I've helped the community by volunteering at food pantries, church dinners, wash dishes, waited tables. And I'm hoping to go to a 4-year college. I'm thinking of University of Scranton to major in chemistry and do some pharmaceutical after. And I'd like to thank the school board for recognizing me tonight, and to thank my parents, teachers, coaches, friends for making me the person I am today.
Tyler, if we can have your parents stand and be recognized, please.
Thank you very much. Congratulations to both of you and your families. You're why we're all here, so we greatly appreciate your taking advantage of the opportunities, and very, very happy that you're part of our Western Wayne team. So at this point, we go into a formal agenda. So for those of you that may want to go home and do homework, feel free. And the press, did you get pictures yet? You already have pictures. So anybody who would like to, this is your opportunity, unless you want to stay for another hour or so. Okay? Thanks again, everybody. You guys did a great job.
Anyone from the public who would care to address the board?
I'd like everyone to know that we now have the opportunity through Education Voters of PA to have a community meeting that will help us understand the basics of school boards, which I think is something many of us did not have an opportunity as students in Western Wayne. We did not have the basics of the knowledge that we need to be an educated community. So they're going to come in at no cost. They are a nonprofit group. I was told by Mr. Adams that we would be able to use this room, and we will meet here on Wednesday, January 27th at 7 p.m. Everyone is invited. It is just an opportunity for us to get more information so we understand how school boards are supposed to work, and they're also going to provide information about fair education funding. So it's not meant to be political. Everybody is welcome to come. I hope we see a lot of people here. I think it's a great opportunity for us.
Dr. Johnson, what night was that again?
It's Wednesday, January 27th at 7 p.m.
7. Oh, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Mr. Adams, if we could, since it's on school grounds, maybe give it some PR, put it up on the sign out on 296, possibly even have Mr. Seaman and the technology department maybe put it up on the website as well. Please.
Thank you, Adrian.
Thank you.
Dr. Jones, if you send me the information, I can put it on the sign.
Is there anyone else?
If nobody's gonna ask this question, I guess I will, because it'll be burning by the end of the day tonight. We we are getting some funding from Governor Wolf, according to the newspaper. Do we know how much? And is that money, that revenue that we're going to get already identified as someplace in the district in the budget?
Yeah, we got $5.1 million last Tuesday. Came as part of, and it ended up being a 6-month allocation of what we had received for the 14 to 15 school year. There still is no state budget. We still don't know what we're actually going to end up with at the end of the budget process, but they fronted some money from an operational standpoint for cash flow purposes. So we received $5.1 million on Tuesday. We have some federal monies potentially coming relatively. It's not here yet, which is, the $5.1 million was very important for us. We were at the point as of March 1st, at the very latest, we would have had to borrow money to stay open to pay the bills. And hopefully between now and sometime soon, but we've been saying that sometime soon since back in July 1st, that hopefully a budget will be adopted. But at least we received half of what the allocation was for 14 and 15 from the state in order to help our cash flow until the budget process is approved.
Sure.
So right now the funding is flat from last year is what they gave us to have. And hopefully we'll get additional funding if they ever get back to work again in Harrisburg.
Rose, could you break it down for the public on what specifically the money was for? You did it Monday night.
Yeah, I think I brought
It includes the basic education fund.
Right, it was.
Includes Social Security.
Yeah.
Can you just do that for us, please? The 5.1 is broken down into different sectors, and I think it's important that we understand where the money's coming from and what it's actually going to.
Yeah, the part of the funding that we did receive was Social Security reimbursement. Whenever we make a payroll, we pay payroll, the state pays us back 50% of what we pay out in Social Security and Medicare. So they did reimburse us several months worth of that. They gave us half of our property tax relief funds that were due for the 15-16 school year. They paid a portion of the basic education funding, a portion of the special education funding, transportation funding. They paid a portion of that, and also the first 2 quarters of our retirement funding, which works. The retirement funding works like the Social Security, Medicare. They pay us back 50% of what we pay out in that funding. And then also another grant that we had in 14-15, it's called a Ready to Learn block grant, which helps us fund our full-day kindergarten program, and we did receive we received the whole grant of that.
And we're waiting for, what was it, $455,000 in Title I funding as well. That was the number?
$455 in federal funding, yeah, which was Title I and Title II.
Thank you very much.
Sure.